Running a project without a RAID log is like flying blind into a storm. Here is the tool that changes everything. Monday morning. Your sponsor walks into the status meeting and asks one question. What are the biggest threats to this project right now? The room goes quiet. People glance at each other hoping someone else will answer. You open your mouth but realize you don't have a clear, organized answer. That uncomfortable silence? A RAID log kills it permanently. RAID stands for risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. It is not a fancy tool or expensive software. It is a simple tracking document, often just a spreadsheet, that captures the 4 things most likely to derail your project. Think of it as your project's early warning system. The beauty of a RAID log is that it forces you to write down what everyone is thinking but nobody is saying. Boeing's Starliner program and countless IT rollouts have suffered not because people didn't see problems coming, but because nobody documented them in one central place. A RAID log fixes that by giving every concern a name, an owner, and a deadline. Most project managers I've worked with who adopted this tool say the same thing: they wish they had started using it years earlier. Let's start with the R risks. A risk is something that hasn't happened yet but could. It lives in the future. Maybe your key developer might get pulled onto another project next month. Maybe the client's legal team could reject the data privacy approach during final review. Maybe a vendor might miss their delivery window because of supply chain delays. Each risk gets logged with a likelihood rating, an impact score, and a mitigation plan. You are not predicting the future. You are preparing for it. The difference between a junior PM and a senior PM often comes down to this: senior PMs maintain a living risk register and review it weekly. They walk into that Monday meeting with answers ready. A 2021 PMI Pulse of the Profession report found that organizations with mature risk practices waste 28 times less money than those without. Risks without documentation are just worries. Risks with documentation become action plans. Now for the A, assumptions. This is the part of the RAID log that catches people off guard. An assumption is something you believe to be true but haven't confirmed yet. Your project plan is built on dozens of these invisible beliefs. You assumed the budget was approved for the full year. You assumed the API from the third-party vendor would be compatible with your system. You assumed the hiring manager would fill that open role by March. When assumptions are wrong, entire timelines collapse and nobody understands why. Writing them down does something powerful: it turns gut feelings into testable statements. During a healthcare software migration I observed, the team assumed the legacy database used standard encryption. 3 months in, they discovered it used a proprietary format that required a custom converter. That single unvalidated assumption cost 6 weeks and nearly $200,000. Your RAID log should list every assumption, who owns validating it, and the date by which it must be confirmed or rejected. The I stands for issues. Unlike risks, issues are not hypothetical. They are problems happening right now, today, in real time. Your test environment crashed yesterday and nobody can run builds. The client changed the scope but refused to adjust the deadline. A critical team member gave their 2-week notice on Friday. Issues demand immediate attention and clear ownership. Every issue in your RAID log needs 3 things: a description of what went wrong, the person responsible for resolving it, and a target resolution date. What separates great project managers from struggling ones is not that they have fewer issues. Every project has issues. The difference is how quickly they surface them, assign them, and drive them to closure. When issues sit in Slack threads and hallway conversations, they multiply. When issues sit in a RAID log with someone's name next to them, they get solved. Accountability changes behavior faster than any motivational speech ever will. Finally, the D, dependencies. A dependency is anything your project needs from outside your direct control. Your mobile app launch depends on the infrastructure team finishing the server migration first. Your marketing campaign depends on the product team finalizing the feature list. Your training rollout depends on HR approving the new onboarding materials. Dependencies are the invisible chains connecting your project to other teams, vendors, and timelines. When you don't track them, you discover blockers at the worst possible moment, usually the week before a major deadline. A well-maintained dependency log lets you see bottlenecks weeks in advance. You can escalate early, negotiate alternative paths, or adjust your own schedule before the crisis hits. I've seen entire product launches delayed because one team didn't realize they were waiting on another team that didn't even know they were being waited on. That sentence sounds absurd, but if you've managed cross-functional projects, you've lived it. Mapping dependencies in your RAID log makes the invisible visible. So how do you actually put this into practice? Start with a simple spreadsheet. 4 tabs, one for each letter. Every entry gets a unique ID, a description, an owner, a status, and a date. Review your RAID log at least once a week during your team stand-up or status meeting. Make it a living document, not a one-time exercise you create at project kickoff and never touch again. Share it openly with your sponsor and stakeholders. When they see you proactively tracking risks and dependencies, their confidence in you grows immediately. The RAID log also becomes your best friend during escalation conversations because you can point to documented evidence instead of vague concerns. Here is your action step for the next 10 minutes. Open a blank spreadsheet right now. Create 4 tabs labeled risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. For your current project, write down just 2 entries in each tab. That gives you 8 items. Assign an owner to each one. Congratulations, you just built your first RAID log. Bring it to your next team meeting and watch how the conversation changes. You will never sit in an awkward silence again when someone asks about project threats. Subscribe if you want more practical project management frameworks that actually work in the real world. That's a wrap, thanks for watching. If this gave you one idea you can use today, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.